What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email. That's right here. But today, I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this latest album from Eminem called Revival. But before we get into this album, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a breakdown in regards to my thoughts regarding his past projects, because I just think that'll help provide a little bit of context. So we all know Infinite is the one that started it all. We got introduced to his super smooth flow. He also had some very nice smooth production on there as well, so that was a nice place to start. But it was the Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP that really took his music to the next level. I do consider these two albums to be classics, and the Eminem Show is almost there for me, but not quite. I know that's something that's going to cause an argument right there because many people consider it to be a classic, but for me, I thought that the production took a little bit of a step back, and this was where he kind of changed up his cadence, vocals, and delivery style just a little bit, but it's still a very dope album. Now after that, we got Encore. Pretty much everyone believes this is one of his worst albums, and I absolutely agree, although it does have a couple of bright spots with Like Toy Soldiers, one of his best songs. And after that, we got Relapse. This track here this album here is something that a lot of people are split on, but I thought that it had some really dope production. In fact, I would say that Relapse had some of his best production within his discography. However, this is where he came with those wacky accents and voices. This shit really, he kind of carried that on from Encore, but took it to the next level. So that did peel back some of these songs a little bit from being really, really great. But in spite of that, I still like some of the songs on there. After that, we got Recovery and Marshall Mathers LP2, and these two albums to me are where he really tried going for that pop sound. So this is where he really started to lose me. Like, I was not fucking with those two albums at all outside of a handful of tracks. So I was curious to see what he was gonna do here. I really wasn't going into this too excited because I haven't liked a lot of his music within the past, X amount of years. And now I heard these singles and that didn't really do much to excite me either. We got Walk on Water, just this slow, dull ballad where Beyonce really stole the show with her vocals. And then we got Untouchable. Had some cool concepts on it, didn't really love the beats on that one. And of course, he was singing some awful hooks and doing those choppy flows. And you know what? These are problems he's had going on for a while, and it really does describe a lot of this album right here. He's still stopping and going with his flow like Stevie from Malcolm in the Middle, and when he's not singing hooks awfully by himself, he's getting some awful poppy pop ballad shit going on throughout most of this project. I mean, goddamn. If you looked at these features and were disappointed, then you already know what you're going to get with some of these tracks, so let's run them down very quickly. You got River with Ed Sheeran, Need Me with Pink, Bad Husband with Ex-Ambassadors, and Tragic Endings with Skylar Grey. These are all just bland, insipid pop ballads that really are going to do nothing for you unless you actually like pop Eminem. So these are tracks that right away you're going to chuck out the window unless you fuck with that. If you're hoping for a really dope hip-hop record from Eminem, you are not getting it with this album because a lot of these tracks like this are on some bullshit. Obviously, he's going for that pop radio appeal here. Even Nowhere Fast with Kalani is just another bland, string-driven ballad that doesn't really showcase any chemistry between the two. So I get what he's doing. He's trying to get on the radio, get those pop hits like he did with Monster and Love the Way You Lie. I can understand that. But are these tracks that make you consider him one of the GOATs in hip-hop? Is this an album that sounds like one of the albums that a GOAT would drop? Is he really stepping it up to the next page? I think fuck no, but you can let me know in the comment section what you think. And before people say I went into this wanting to hate on Eminem, that is not the case at all. In fact, I really tried to give this one a chance because look at what Jay-Z did. I mean, obviously Jay-Z's career and discography has not been as sloppy as Eminem's at all, in my opinion, because I fucks with Jigga. That's just how I roll. But even still, Jay-Z came out with 444, one of his best albums. Like, I think that shit would probably be in his top 5 after all the time being in the game. So I thought maybe Eminem could have been taking some notes, seeing all the critiques he was getting and all this shit. Maybe he would give us a great project. But fuck that, he definitely didn't. Then we get yet another poppy ballad style track with Like Home. This one features Alicia Keys. And by the way, all these people singing are all right. I mean, they sound just like you would expect them to sound. It's just that they don't really make for great songs here. And this song in particular is just Eminem going in at Trump again. We have gotten so many fuck Trump bars and songs over the past year or so that it just seems like he's late to the party by now. He did it on the BET freestyle. That was kind of cool. Untouchable had some political, racially charged shit happening on it. But a whole song basically dedicated to, fuck Trump, he's like a Nazi, he's like Hitler, etc., etc. I mean, goddamn, man. Even as someone who doesn't fuck with Trump and isn't for a lot of those types of views, obviously, I mean, do you really care to hear this shit from Eminem at this point in the year? Like almost going into 2018, having heard people do fuck Trump and political songs way better than this? Is this what you want to hear? Probably not. And you can go ahead and try to defend it, but how are you going to defend some of the awful bars on this, including this type of pickle we're in is hard to deal? Jesus Christ, man. That's just really bad. And why is there a lack of rap features on here? I'm talking about all these pop features. The only rap feature we get is Fresher, of all people, on Chloraseptic. And again, there's not a lot of chemistry here. This track is just a goddamn mess, man. All Fresher does is a hook that is just completely forgettable. And on top of that, the beat just doesn't have a lot of layers to it. It's just this kind of simple, bassy, trappish style production that just goes nowhere, man. This was very disappointing. Eminem is on here mixing his choppy flows with his trap flows, and whether he's doing that just to troll and make fun of that shit, as I've seen some people say, it still just sounds really bad, man. Once in a while, you get glimpses of Eminem having decent flows on this album, but a lot of this shit is still stop and go and just awkward and forced. And aside from pop Eminem, you're also getting rock Eminem. Those are the two Eminems that I know a lot of people don't fuck with. So if you don't like that, you're gonna take like half of these tracks and just throw them in your recycle bin. I mean, you may as well just chuck the whole album, but I mean, we're gonna get to that point. But in the meantime, I'll talk about some of these rock tracks. You got In Your Head, which samples Cranberries. And shout out to Shecky in the Facebook page for Luke James Reviews, because he called it out. When the track list came out, he said, I guarantee this shit is gonna sample Cranberries, and it did. That sample from their song Zombie, I mean, it actually doesn't go too bad with this song. It kind of fits because Eminem is just rapping about battling with, just the struggle he has with Slim Shady, this character of his that he created, who created so many problems. And at times it even seeped into his real life. So the content there was kind of interesting. I can appreciate that. But some of these other rock songs, woo boy, they get even worse. You got the song Heat, which does sample Dirk Diggler from Boogie Nights, so I can't appreciate that because that's one of my favorite movies. That shit is kind of funny, but it doesn't make for a great beat. Just a very simple rock loop that doesn't have a whole lot happening with it. But the worst of all might be Remind Me. This samples Joan Jett's song I Love Rock and Roll. It also borrows from her hook. And these songs are just garbage, man. These are really terrible songs. I even took down some of the bad lyrics here just to say. So between these two songs, he's saying, I'm looking at your tight rear like a sightseer. Your booty is heavy duty like diarrhea. That is just fucking trash, like top tier dumpster juice bars with extra fish heads, rotten pickles and cucumbers, whatever else you want to put in there is fucking terrible. You also get, yeah, you're a cute fox, perfect 10, so back that up like a moonwalk. Girl, you're smoking like Snoop Dogg. Again, just another forced bar. That shit is terrible. And we get on Heat, where he's, just grabbing girls by the cat like Donald Trump. He said that's the one thing he agrees on him with. So, whoo, edgy, offensive Eminem, watch out. On this track, he says, inconveniencing girls at the convenience store, because those jeans she wore, he never seen before. He is just forcing the hell out of his rhymes on a lot of these songs, and there is no more perfect example than the song Offended. This is some all-out gutter trash, man. This shit is terrible. This is one of those songs where he is just cramming together whatever words will fit just to say wacky, zany, and offensive shit. People think these songs are amazing, like, wow, look at the flow and the schemes, but he's still stopping and going. This track to me was just awful. I'm not a fan of when Eminem just does that, but you know what? People are blown away by that. You even get a terrible hook on this song where he's saying, nobody likes us, maybe I'm gonna go eat worms, and if you don't like that, you can eat turds. Like, this album is just all over the place. He's giving you political tracks, then on other songs he's trying to get introspective and deep and let you into his life, then he's telling you to eat worms and turds like that old nursery rhyme. It's just really bad. There are bad bars all over this thing, including on Believe, where he says that he started from the ground up like a snowman. And it's actually too bad, because I thought this beat kind of slapped, had a lot of bass on it, but here he is again, singing on his hooks, because that's what we want to hear from Eminem, coming with choppy flows. And by the way, on this song in Chloraseptic, he's kind of fucking around with some Migos down southern type of flows, like, whew, man, it's just really awkward and bad. The shit was not working for me. Maybe it was working for you. Maybe if you're watching this, you're just getting red in the face and you're getting mad right now, because I know how some of Eminem's fans are. But surprisingly, I've seen a lot of his fans saying this is garbage too, and possibly his worst work. I'm right with you. So I would say the album ends on a pretty high note with Castle and a Rose. On these songs, he's getting introspective and just recounting that awful overdose he had while also talking to his daughter through different stages of her life. So you can appreciate the content here. He gets pretty vivid. I appreciate what he did as far as painting those pictures, and these two songs were easily some of the best ones. But at the same time, there is not one song on here that I thought was great. There's not one song I heard that I think to myself, you guys gotta hear this song. This is the best track you're ever gonna hear from Eminem. He hasn't done some shit like this. It's amazing. I did not get that feeling at all. But I would say Castle was the best song. It's pretty damn good. But clearly, you can tell by now that I'm not in love with this album. I am not in like with this album. I don't think this is even close to one of the best albums of the year. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. This is in the running for one of the worst albums of the year. It is just so messy, man. It's so messy and sloppy. On one hand, like if you've been a fan of Eminem through his entire career and you like everything he's done, rock Eminem, pop Eminem, all those different sounds, then yeah, I mean, definitely check this out. You might like it because he's doing a bit of everything. He even comes through with a song called Framed that's a little bit reminiscent of Slim Shady, you know what I mean? Has those horrorcore elements on it, kind of reminds me of Relapse. But again, there he goes, fucking it up with this awful hook. It just seems like on every song, even if you kind of like something about it, there's going to be 2 or 3 things that are awful. You're going to get bad flows on some of them are going to have bad hooks, some of them are going to have shit production. This is just all over the place. I don't fuck with it, and I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 5. Yes, that's what I mean, a 1.5. And I know that seems low, and people are going to say, you know, why did you give this a 2? How can you give this a this? Why is this higher than this? Because Eminem at this point in his career, coming through with this shit, this is not good, man. People have already been doubting his legacy. A lot of people are saying, is he killing his legacy with these awful albums that he's been put out, or even these albums that people aren't really feeling too much? Yes, he is. And this album right here is not really good. So at this point in his career, yes, this is a 1.5. Coming from someone like Eminem who's capable of more, yes, this is a 1.5. This is not a great album. I know some of you are going to say, oh, you just like Lil Pump and Lil Uzi, blah, blah. Goddamn, some of that shit is definitely better than this. At least there are some decent hooks and melodies. At least some of the beats are good. Ah, man, let's see. What else do I have here? Do I have anything else to say to you? I know some people are going to say, I don't appreciate real hip-hop. Eminem is the only rapper out here speaking real shit and coming from the heart. And if you say that, no, you're wrong again, because there are tons of rappers out there coming with much better shit. I'm just fed up, man. I'm tired, man. I worked all day. I come home trying to review this shit. It's not very good at all. I know people are going to get mad at me no matter what I say, but this is it, man. I did not fuck with this album. I don't like it. Eminem, 1.5 out of 5 on Revival. That's how I feel. My shoulders off and shit. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Let me know in the comments section what you think. If you like it, at least tell me why you like it. I know you guys are gonna go crazy with all your dumbass comments, but hey, man, I understand if you like it. Maybe I shouldn't say a dumbass comment. That's not nice. Let's try to pull it back. I understand some of you are gonna be upset, but if you love the album, tell me why, man. Let's have a bit of a discussion instead of just insulting each other and being all crazy and shit. But hey, what's gonna happen is gonna happen because it's a YouTube comment section. But anyway, hit me up on my social media sites. You know where I'm at, so show me love and show me lots of it. All that said, man, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.